Americans are being squeezed out of the labor force and their jobs are taken. 107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country?
Imagine a world where one explosive statement could shatter the illusion of our nation's prosperity. A declaration so bold, it challenges the very way we understand opportunity and survival. From the outside, Donald Trump's assertion that 80% of Americans live east of an invisible boundary promises to reveal hidden truths about where our nation thrives. He argues that this line isn't arbitrary, but a natural divider, a clear demarcation of where opportunity, innovation, and wealth are concentrated. Join us as we peel back the layers of history, geography, and policy to discover why nearly 80% of Americans call one half of our country home, and what this means for our future. The map of human reality. This is not just any map. It's a striking representation of where the world's 8 billion people live. On one side, you see a vibrant, densely populated network of cities and settlements, teeming with life, innovation, and culture. On the other, a vast, underpopulated frontier stretches out, almost devoid of human presence. This picture tells a million stories, but today we focus on one particular narrative, a nearly perfect straight-line border that separates the bustling world of human civilization from the empty expanses of nature. In the United States, this invisible line, which many experts say follows roughly the 98th meridian of longitude, divides the nation into two very distinct realms. To the east lies an area saturated with development, from the urban glow of New York and Washington, D.C., to the sprawling metropolises of the Midwest and South. To the west, the landscape is vastly different. Enormous tracts of land where large cities are few and far between, and where natural challenges have made widespread settlement difficult. This demographic divide, where roughly 80% of Americans reside on the eastern side, is a phenomenon that raises profound questions about the forces shaping our society. The African divide. To understand the American divide, let's first consider a parallel on another continent. In Africa, maps reveal a dramatic boundary between two distinct worlds. South of a certain straight line lies the African Sahel, a semi-arid belt stretching across the continent where rainfall, although limited, sustains modest human settlements. North of this line, however, unfurls the vast Sahara Desert, one of the most hostile environments on the planet. In the Sahara, years may pass without a single drop of rain, and temperatures routinely soar above 40 degrees Celsius for extended periods. This sharp, almost surgically precise line separates a habitable region from an almost entirely uninhabited expanse, underscoring how natural conditions dictate human settlement. The African example illustrates that sometimes a simple straight-line boundary on a map can represent profound differences in climate, resources, and habitability. It's a natural law, one that determines where people can live and where they cannot. This idea, though stark, sets the stage for understanding the invisible line that divides America. The American divide. Closer to home, the division within the United States is even more intriguing. If you zoom in on a population density map of America, you'll notice a nearly vertical line running roughly along the 98th meridian. To the east of this line, urban centers and continuous networks of communities stretch from the Atlantic coast to the heartland, bustling with economic activity and rich cultural exchange. This densely populated area is home to nearly 80% of Americans, about 260 million people, forming an intricate web of cities, suburbs, and towns where opportunities abound. In stark contrast, to the west of this boundary, the landscape is dominated by vast open spaces. Here, human settlements are few and far between. Imagine a region where long stretches of land are almost entirely empty, a frontier where the distances between communities, gas stations, and stores are vast. This emptiness is not by accident. It reflects the challenges of the natural environment, including limited water resources and harsher climates. The contrast is vivid. While the east glows with a near-continuous chain of lights at night, the west remains shrouded in darkness with only isolated pockets of civilization breaking the void. This dramatic difference in population distribution isn't just a quirk of geography. It's a manifestation of how natural resources, particularly water and historical settlement patterns, have shaped the destiny of our nation. Donald Trump's perspective and background. Donald Trump has never been one to mince words when it comes to his vision of America's greatness. A businessman and real estate mogul long before entering politics, Trump built his empire on the principle of capitalizing on America's best assets. As president, he championed policies aimed at putting American interests first, often emphasizing the need to reclaim lost economic power and restore national pride. Trump's fascination with America's population divide is a reflection of his broader economic philosophy. He argues that the concentration of nearly 80% of Americans in the East is no mere accident. It's a clear indicator of where opportunity, innovation, and wealth naturally converge. For Trump, the densely populated East, with its abundant resources and vibrant urban centers, is the heart of the nation's economic engine. In his view, this invisible line represents more than just a geographic boundary. It's a symbol of American potential and a roadmap for future prosperity. Before his rise to the presidency, Trump was known for his bold, unapologetic style, a trait that carried over into his political career. His support for his own brand of economic nationalism, combined with a keen understanding of America's regional strengths, informed his perspective on the population divide. He saw the East as a magnet for growth and innovation, and believed that by focusing on the opportunities in this region, America could further cement its status as a global leader. At the same time, Trump recognized the challenges facing the West, a vast, underpopulated frontier where natural conditions have long limited development. His commentary on this divide is both a celebration of the East's achievements and a call to address the untapped potential of the American frontier. The geography behind the divide. A closer examination of America's geography reveals that this population divide is deeply rooted in natural forces. The eastern half of the country benefits from a temperate climate, abundant rainfall, and fertile soils that have nurtured centuries of agricultural and urban development. Cities grew, industries flourished, and infrastructure expanded in a region where nature was generous, a stark contrast to the challenges faced in the West. In the western regions, the landscape is defined by vast arid plains, deserts, and rugged terrain. Natural barriers such as mountain ranges limit the availability of water and create harsh living conditions. When viewed from space, the difference is unmistakable. The East radiates with a continuous glow of urban development, while the West remains largely dark, marked only by isolated clusters of lights. This vivid imagery underscores a fundamental truth. Human settlement is inextricably linked to the natural environment, and where water and resources abound, civilization thrives. Trump has often pointed to these geographic realities to support his argument. He asserts that the concentration of people in the East is a natural outcome of where economic opportunity is most viable, driven by favorable climate conditions and established infrastructure. In contrast, the West's sparse population reflects the significant challenges of sustaining large-scale communities in an environment where water is scarce and natural barriers are formidable. Water, scarcity, and agricultural challenges. Water is the lifeblood of civilization, and its distribution is a key factor in the American divide. In the East, abundant rainfall and rich soil support a thriving agricultural sector and dense urban development. Farmers can cultivate water-intensive crops like corn, and communities benefit from a reliable supply of fresh water that fosters growth and prosperity. In stark contrast, the West is plagued by chronic water scarcity. The arid climate necessitates complex irrigation systems to sustain agriculture, and even then, crop yields are often lower compared to regions with natural water abundance. The situation is exemplified by the dwindling flow of the Colorado River, a vital water source for millions in the American Southwest. For the first time in recorded history, the river is drying up, a sobering reminder of the challenges facing this vast, underpopulated region. The disparity in water availability has far-reaching consequences. Not only does it affect agricultural productivity, but it also influences where people choose to live. In the West, the struggle to secure sufficient water has led to larger, less efficient farms and a lower overall population density. This fundamental difference in natural resources is a critical driver behind why 80% of Americans reside in the more favorable conditions of the East, where water is plentiful and life flourishes. The future of American settlement. The invisible line that divides the United States is not static. It evolves with time. Historical records show that early explorers like John Wesley Powell identified the 100th meridian as the boundary where rainfall dramatically decreases. Today, however, modern climate data indicates that this natural divide has shifted, aligning more closely with the 98th meridian. As climate change continues to alter weather patterns, this boundary may migrate even further east, reshaping the demographics and economic landscape of our nation. This evolving reality poses significant challenges and opportunities. For one, the persistence of a densely populated east, alongside an increasingly arid west, forces policymakers to confront the sustainability of our current development models. Can innovative technologies and infrastructure projects bridge this gap? Or will the environmental realities of the West continue to limit its growth, leaving the vast majority of our population concentrated in the East? Trump's perspective on the future of American settlement is clear. He believes that recognizing and leveraging this natural divide is key to crafting effective policies. By investing in the strengths of the East, its abundant water, fertile lands, and robust infrastructure, while developing new strategies to address the West's challenges, America can aspire to a more balanced, prosperous future. His vision is both a call to honor the natural laws that govern our world and a challenge to innovate in the face of these immutable forces. From a map that lays bare two radically different worlds to Donald Trump's assertive perspective on why 80% of Americans live east of an invisible line, the divide within our nation is both a geographic reality and a powerful symbol of opportunity and challenge. The densely populated East, with its wealth of natural resources and established infrastructure, stands in stark contrast to the vast, underpopulated West, a land defined by scarcity and untapped potential. Trump's commentary on this divide invites us to reconsider the factors that shape our society. Is the concentration of wealth and opportunity in the East simply a matter of natural fortune? Or can innovative policies bridge the gap and unlock the potential of America's frontier? As you reflect on this dramatic revelation, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you believe are the critical factors that have shaped America's population distribution? How should we address the challenges and opportunities presented by this invisible line? If you found this exploration of America's hidden divide, melding vivid geographic analysis, historical insights, and Donald Trump's provocative perspective, engaging and thought-provoking, please hit the like button. Subscribe for more in-depth analyses of the forces shaping our society, and share this video with anyone curious about the future of American civilization. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember that sometimes the most profound truths are drawn not by human hands, but by the unyielding forces of nature.